Hi folks, welcome to my humble off-grid homestead in the forest, and today I'm here with one of my evergreen trees under the umbrella of conifers called spruce. They come in different colors. By different colors they refer to the color of the bark. This looks dark right now, but it isn't actually a black spruce, but they come in black spruce, red spruce, white spruce. We had rain today, and that's why the bark of every tree is dark right now. But spruce tree bark, well, since we're talking about the bark's kind of rough, kind of scaly, as opposed to fir, which is its very close relative. I don't have anyone right near me, around me, and their branches are full. If I can see if I can find a branch that's dead or dying, so I don't have to clip a new one. Now here's an example. In this hand, in my right hand, I have an example of its very close relative of that is called fir. I have a video on that, and this is a spruce. The spruce, where the fir leaves are flat and soft, and each individual needle is flat. I don't know if you can see. Spruce, by comparison, is pokey, needle-like, and shorter, much shorter needles, and it's full. It goes pretty much all around it, as opposed to this is just fir is basically one way and the other, and this is like a brush-like. This is the underside of them. They both really smell good. They both can be and are used for as Christmas trees, as lumber for building, constructing, framing homes. But spruce somehow has, and they both, like, the reason why, what's its genus name? Piquet. They're both from Pinaceae. But this one translates to pitch, because you can get pitch from it. Pitch as in pitch black, like that gooey tar material. That was before, excuse me, we started using petroleum jelly, petroleum-based turpentine and pitch-like material. But still, First Nations do it, and we would do it too if we ever need some kind of a glue to seal things. They also are used for, I would say, all string instruments like violas, violins, cellos, guitars, for the top part of the board. So they have a good soundboard. They make a good soundboard. I think they might even call them, what's the name? What do they call that? The name will come to me maybe later. But not the bottom part of the guitar or violin that's on your shoulder. That's usually maple. But the top part has a good resonance sound. That's made out of spruce. In fact, if any of you have ever heard of Stradivari, his $1 million, whatever, multi-million-dollar violins were made out of spruce. That's the top part again. We have so many because of our location, just like the fir, the other video that I did, they grow really well here. It's insane how much they love being here, because we're high up in the mountain. It's cooler. They like the cooler. They like the water. They can even grow in some rocky mountains. We don't have that here. In like crevices, like a tree can grow in like a little crevice with hardly any soil. We have rocks here, but not like the Rockies. And so they grow well in northern Europe as well. But this sort of a pine forest, conifer forest, whatever you want to call it, where you have all kinds of evergreens. Evergreens being spruce, fir, cedar, you know, two birds are trying to fight for one nest, I think, in territory up there. They make for the cleanest forests. What do I mean by cleanest? Like the air quality. In fact, during the Victorian times, the sanatoriums, the what do you call? What's another word for it? Mental hospitals or sort of a retreats, if you will, were all built in northern climates that have had. I guess that's all. They're gone now. The forest, that is, this sort of forest, the evergreen forest, because the air is so clean there. Unfortunately, the climate is changing, and in some places, like the Western Canada, we're in the Eastern Canada, about 4,000 kilometers away. As it's getting hotter and hotter, they're getting drier and drier, and there are forest fires. But then, one good thing, if you can think of it that way, is that some of the evergreens need that sort of a fire to kind of kill everything else that's around them, and or for their seeds to pop open, or their cones. But the cones. Oh, I watched something I should have mentioned in my other video about the fir, and which applies to spruce too. In a sort of a survival situation, you can make a tea out of them. In fact, they hold a lot of water. You can even, if you really can't find water that is pure, that is pure enough for you to drink, like potable water, you can chew on the leaves of either fir, or this was just much softer. This is kind of pokey, and spruce. But do you know, one thing I wanted to, before I forget, mention is that Captain Cook, if you remember it, the explorer or whatever, to discourage scurvies, or to positive, I guess, to make sure that his crew doesn't get scurvies. He would make beer out of spruce tips and leaves, because it's very high in vitamin C. That's why I said, if you can, I didn't say, I was going to say that if you're in a survival situation, you can't find water, you can chew on it. But if you're, say, you're in the forest and it's sort of a cooler day, wintry day, whatever, you're lost, or for some reason you're feeling down, or maybe you didn't bring your tea with you, or whatever, you can get these branches and make a tea out of them. And it will warm you up, but it's, like I said, it's very high in calcium. You can get this, probably. These trees must be everywhere. But the point, the trick is, though, make sure you're not harvesting them near roadways. Here we have very little traffic. In fact, I'm at the foot of my driveway. I don't even know if you can see the road behind me. And listen. We have little to no traffic. And so that's fine. But if you are in a situation where you need to harvest something to eat, be it leaves, roots, branches, anything, make sure that you're far away from traffic, because the particulates that are in the air, especially when it rains, they get down and they cover these branches and roots, even the roots and leaves and everything. And you really don't know what's in them. And if you're going to be consuming that, you may find out that you're worse off now than you were before you consumed them. So you remember that. We're an organic community. In fact, the entire community doesn't spray. So it was something like 1,000 acres. But if you're intrigued by using something like this, just make sure that you're getting it from as clean a source as you're able to. Anything else about spruce that I can tell you? Some spruces like more wet, like black spruce or red spruce, probably need like more wet roots, wet feet than white spruce. And you know, left in I mean, there are many varieties of them. They can be, you know, the giant redwoods are from the evergreen family, and the reason for why they're called evergreens, all evergreens, is because they don't lose their branches, with the exception of some trees like this hemlock. No, maybe not hemlock, but um, oh, what's that tree called? We don't. I don't think we have any around the house to show you, but it does drop its needles. But other than that, they don't drop their needles unless it's a hot, dry year. Then they might, to conserve energy. But otherwise, they don't. They keep their leaves, and because there's so many of them, they're so tiny. They're able to withstand a lot, but not like a drought. Heat loss, and also in the winter, same for the winter, their essential oils and everything, they can be smell so good, they can be preserved, even in that cold. So here the cold can, well, I mean, we haven't had that for a few years now, but it could reach, I don't know, minus 25 Celsius, and they would survive, no problem. Not even no zero sign of stress. Anyway, I hope you learned something about the evergreens that grows in my neck of the woods. If you have anything extra that you can share with me that I didn't mention, that I didn't know, I'm always, I mean, nobody knows everything. I would appreciate it.